hope you're good. Today we're making a batch of chocolate recipes that actually look rather impressive. Your friends might be like, wow, how much effort did you put into this? In reality, I mean, you could lie about it, but they're very, very simple indeed. No faff, really minimal ingredients, easy to get from the supermarket, dangerously simple. And in fact, it's all about that presentation of how much you want to personalize it to properly wow your friends. I mean, just to clarify, you don't have to make this for your friends. You can have it all if you want. I won't tell anyone. Recipe number 1 is the one that actually takes the longest, but most of that is just setting time. It is so easy. Frozen chocolate yogurt bark, and it looks like something you'd get from a health store and pay loads of money for. Effectively though, it's just yogurt and cocoa and, well, whatever you want to put on it. Let's do it. If you wanted to be ultra lazy, you could actually mix it. Oh my gosh, my baking parchment's slipping away. You could mix it on this tray, but we will use a bowl. So just a piece of baking parchment, and then if you leave a little lip somewhere, like maybe here, okay, cool, the rest of it should go in. That is gonna make it so easy to get out later, because once it's frozen in there, the pan's not gonna wanna let it go, and that is an intentionally bad frozen pun. This is some full-fat Greek yogurt. You can use low-fat. In fact, you can use any yogurt you want, really. Cocoa powder for our chocolate. And then if you want to, again, this is optional, this is honey for a sweetener. And that'll be the body of our yogurt bark. Beautiful. Actually, another thing you could do is swirl it. You could do like 50% of it mixed through like this in different bowls. The thinner it is, the quicker it will set, and it'll probably have a better snap. But of course, you might not want it thin, you might want it chunky. That's kind of like the great thing about it. And to be fair, it's probably one of the healthiest things I'm doing today. Shimmy it. Yeah, a couple of taps like that, and it has kind of, well, self-leveled. Now we can top it to our heart's content. So what I've got is some strawberries. Get as artistic as you like. I've been going through this phase of just like nibbling on blueberries whilst I've been editing videos. True story. I can literally eat a whole tub of them in one setting. It's kind of dangerous. Now, of course, if you wanted to push the chocolate more, you can actually add like some chocolate sauce. But you might remember the other day, we did some homemade granola. And yeah, this is probably the healthiest we're going today, but look at that. That's cocoa yogurt bark and it's done. Well, just don't eat it like that. In that goes in the freezer to fully set. It should take about 3 hours minimum. All right, so from something fairly healthy that looks visually cool and indeed is in the freezer behind a setting to kind of the polar opposite of a naughty chocolate cake, kind of based off the Swedish Kladdkaka, which I've 100% pronounced wrong. So this is a Kladdkaka from Sweden. There's actually a National Kladdkaka Day on the 7th November. But the Swedish word kladdik means sticky or messy, and when I've made something like this in the past, people said, oh Barry, you've pretty much made a Kladdkaka. I don't know whether I have, but I know that this is a moist, gooey, one bowl chocolate cake, which is really gonna hit the spot. This is like the polar opposite to the thing in our freezer right now. So I've got myself a 20cm loose bottom tin here. This thing is allowed to be sticky and gooey. I'm talking about the cake, not the tin, all right? My aim for the video today was to do things that progressively get easier to make, so this really is one bowl. Into this large bowl goes some melted butter, a pinch of salt, and this is some vanilla extract, caster sugar, and a good old shimmy of the cocoa powder. Wow, that looks so rich, doesn't it? So the cocoa powder and the sugar in particular merged all in together there. 2 large eggs here. Just gonna whisk it. Oh my gosh, I got right through the yolk on that. Just gonna whisk it by hand. Nothing too excessive. Is that the first time I've ever used that egg pun? I always think I'm never gonna discover another egg pun, and then there's always an extra one. I've got some plain flour here. This cake is kind of flat. Like if you really want to push some rise on it, add some baking powder or some self-raising flour. It's just a dense, gooey thing, but a very, very good dense, gooey thing, okay? I'd imagine there are some bad, dense, gooey things. I just can't think of any right now. So my oven's just preheating. I haven't decided what to top this with yet. There's so many options. We could just go with icing sugar. I've still got some strawberries and blueberries left. I guess that's quite a nice thing to have to worry about. I mean, that just shows the simplicity of this recipe, that I'm not really worried about it. It's just more like how we want it to look at the end. Actually, our third recipe is probably the most complex of all, and it's blooming easy. Let's get that going whilst that is baking. Now, I'm not sure if Boston could talk. I'm fairly certain he'd have any of these recipes today, but I think this would be his favourite. And I could have actually made it even simpler. Yes, we're going to do a chocolate mousse. In fact, a coffee mousse, a mocha mousse. I need to hurry up because that is starting to smell good. But we have done a chocolate mousse in the past with just chocolate and water. It was all right, but this is proper indulgent.
And I guess the great thing about the mousse is that you basically like build it in the vessel that you're going to serve it out of. So here's some double cream. Let's give that a nice whiskeroo. There we go. Now, I'm doing a coffee one. I could use coffee extract, but we are actually adding coffee in a moment. But I really love the orange chocolate combo. That's just vanilla extract, but a chocolate orange one with orange extract would be amazing. Right, that's that part. Awesome. Oh, hang on a sec. I want to make sure I'm not burning this. Oh, we're so nearly there. Oh, it's looking fantastic. So we're going to use some dark chocolate, and I want to show you this. This is the budget chocolate I used to buy. So years ago when I was doing Giant Food, this stuff was 15p a bar. 15p! It's now 75 pence. Absolutely bonkers. So thank you to everyone that helps support the channel, whether you watch the adverts, whether you support me on Patreon. I just really appreciate you supporting the running costs of the channel to make the videos possible. Thank you so much. Oh, my oven just pinged. And that's okay, that's okay. We'll get around it. Oh, you beautiful thing. Just gorgeous chocolate simplicity. Anyhow, that budget bar of chocolate just off to one side still. I probably will still use that in a bit because we can use it as a garnish. We will warm it in the microwave. I'll stir that a couple of times to get it nice and smooth like this. Look at that. Coffee going in now. Just get it mixed through like that. Now that's actually going to leave a little bit of texture. It's completely up to you. If you wanted to, you could dilute that with water first and pour it in. But like, you know how you get those like gorgeous like edible chocolate covered cocoa beans? Like this is kind of like a budget version of that to give your mousse like a teeny bit of texture, but ultimately still create our mocha mousse. I like the words mocha mousse together. Mocha mousse. I've got a friend I play tennis with who's from Scotland, and I can imagine him saying that when he misses a shot. Ah, mocha mousse. Gonna push that coffee chocolate, oh my word, look at it, just finding its way. Now the whisk won't get everything, so right down the bottom, see some of that cream is hiding away, so do scrape it up and lift it through. But look, we can see how light and airy that is with the specks of the coffee in it. It smells so good. If you just generally like making this for yourself, you could just eat it out of a massive bowl. But you can actually have this right now. The chocolate has made it slightly warmer. It's holding its shape, but we will actually chill this. I haven't decided what I'm going to put on this yet. And part of me likes the simplicity of it being on its own. There are those tiny pieces of coffee in there too for a real flavour punch. But for the moment, you can see it's holding its shape pretty darn well. I mean, look at that thing, that's awesome. And those ingredients have made enough for at least 3, by the way. So we'll just shove that in there. And whilst I mull over what we actually put on top of that, the final 2, I said it was going to get easier and quicker, are very nippy indeed, starting with this. There's a reason we've got so many clear mugs in our house. I love making mug cakes. It's just that simplicity of 60 seconds it'll be done. I think this one might be a little small, it could spill out, but you've got to embrace that gooiness for a chocolate lava cake. The biggest ingredient, if I try and get a little bit sneakily out on the side so it doesn't go in the mug, is plain flour. Cocoa powder, sugar, baking powder, milk, bit of salt, and oil. We're making a lovely little batter here. Just make sure it's all combined. And you're probably thinking, well, if this is quick, and you said the other one's even quicker, these are best served warm, so with this one we probably will eat almost immediately because the last one really is fast. Now, this is optional because if you want to say, oh yeah, I've made yourself a little Ferrero Rocher mug cake to impress your friends, we just push a piece of chocolate, now this is that cheap budget one I was talking about, into there and make sure it is covered and encased, okay? But that's literally it. 800 watts, 1 minute. There we go, literally a minute, papery top, that is 100% done. And it comes, and we've got that chocolate piece in there, making it molten. You can turn it out if you want. My preferred route is to just keep it in the mug, get a nice old round chunk of ice cream, and a little dusting of cocoa powder. I've never done that before, but hey, it makes it look a tiny bit fancier. Look at that. And you can already see it's starting to melt on there as well. 60 seconds. Awesome. I'm gonna have to eat this right now. Oh, can I break through it? Oh, Oh, look, there's the chocolate right in there. Ah! Oh, it's going everywhere now. Brilliant. Wow. It's just such a quick chocolate fix. Molten, gooey, warm. Then you've got that cold shock of the ice cream with the vanilla flavour on it as well. I know it's just a mug cake. I've done loads of these. I think mug cakes generally are underrated. I genuinely do. I actually feel like with the booming air fryers, we've done quite a lot of videos on them, that even microwaves aren't getting so much loving at the moment. Absolutely incredible. Gotta be honest, although that's the first one I've tasted today, I think that's actually gonna be my favorite one. So much so, it's clouded my chocolatey judgment affogato about this last one, a chocolate affogato. Espresso, chocolate ice cream, mesmerizing caffeine kick. Actually, just before we do that, two things today. I've actually been filming this video in my slippers. I hope that's all right. I've been very comfortable, very warm indeed. And also, Mrs. B the other day said, we need a new plant pot for our olive tree. I said, that's fine, it's in a small one. Look at the size of this thing she bought. It's absolutely ginormous. And it was the mug cake that made me think, oh, I've got to show you. Imagine a mug cake that big. Gonna need a big old microwave. Yeah, so this might not have the dramatic, moody color change that you get with vanilla and the coffee. I've brewed some espresso because obviously this is a similar color to the coffee. We'll do a scoop and a half, there we go. And here is some freshly brewed espresso straight on there. Let that kind of mingle together. Oh, it's rounded the ice cream perfectly. Look at that. Obviously the most easiest recipe today by far. I mean, it's probably borderline a recipe, isn't it? And then if we want some chocolate syrup as well like that, there we go. Let that just kind of fall in there, do its thing. So we didn't quite get the marbling with the vanilla contrast with the black coffee on there, but we have already got that stereotypical foam where the cream from the ice cream is starting to go and almost sort of like self-froth. So we definitely saved the simplest till last. Oh my word. I know I mentioned Ferrero Rocher earlier. I saw Ferrero Rocher ice cream and I thought, oh, that'd be amazing. However, there might be bits of nuts floating in it and you might not like that. I kind of wanted it smooth, and you've kind of got that pop there of like the heat from the freshly brewed coffee. There's the slight syrup vibes within it, but then the foaminess, the creaminess of that ice cream, fantastic. But we've only tried 2 of these recipes. We've still got 3 more that we've already made to actually taste. So as we can see from our cake, it is very thin, like we said, but raising agents in there if you wish. It's not about that, it's about that dense fudginess, and again, we can make this look good. Even just a simple dusting of icing sugar on top can really just make something look awesome. It's basically edible snow, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with blueberries at the moment, but like they're going on. Maybe a few like actual halves of strawberry just to make it pop for some contrast. Oh, I've got some whipped cream as well, because what you could do actually is like do a little island. Oh, and sit a strawberry in it like that. Oh my word. Here we go. Oh, it is dense. Oh, it's not going to be as gooey as it was right at the start if we ate it straight away, but that's okay. Let's have a look, let's have a look. Oh, you fudgy gorgeous thing. Right, please don't be dry. It looks really fudgy. I've built it up now. Come on, let's try it. Yes. It is not dry at all. You can do a very similar cake to that using just Nutella and flour too, but there's kind of like a structure and strength there, like you can hold it up. There's a weight to it as you hold it, but it's not gonna break. I say that and it's gonna drop off now. But like you literally say to someone, yeah, I've just made that, they'll be like, wow, make 2 sponges like that, wedge some of the mousse that we made in the middle, you're going gourmet. I might as well use this area still. For the mousse, I've got the budget chocolate, and I'm just gonna grate a little bit off the sides to give us some chocolate curls. And this is a Mocha Mousse. We don't need to put any more on it. We really don't. Chocolate sauce. And then whilst it's there, those chocolate savings from that 75p bar. Look at that. Absolutely super lazy Mocha Mousse. What? If I could jump in this right now, I'm in it. I'm literally in it. That is absolutely, I only had 1 mouthful. Oh, I love the coffee taste.
Oh, that is so good. I'm not thinking about the cream and the chocolate shavings and the sauce we put on top. That's nice, it makes it look nice. It is that coffee punch. Oh, what a mocha stonker. All right, like I'm not gonna eat any more. I've been fed very, very well. In fact, we're finishing with the healthiest of all. There is a temptation to, of course, slather this in chocolate sauce and cream. We're not gonna do that. We've got this matte, oh, brilliant, I can keep it in the tin. I was gonna just lift it all out in one piece, but it is actually snapping. Ooh, delicate snappage, and it does have, like I was thinking, well, this is probably the most unchocolatey one that we've started with. It's kind of got like red velvet colour to it. So I've got a bit of blueberry, bit of granola on there. The blueberry is like gently warming in my mouth. It is by far, and I mean by far, the healthiest I have had today. But it's super refreshing. It tastes vibrant. It tastes kind of like alive and healthy. The crunch of the granola, the softness of the blueberry. I didn't get a strawberry, but also the yogurt. It's not really doing much. It's the honey that's that vibrant punch coming through. I really wanted to finish on this to kind of like cleanse my palate, and it has actually done that quite well. I know some of you guys will never want to try this. It's just probably not your cup of tea. But like break that up into little pieces, keep that in the freezer in a little tub, it will last for ages. Nibble on it as a healthy snack when you want it. For a minor, you're getting a little cocoa hit, a minor cocoa fix. And as I slide in what is left of the other recipes we made today, if I had to pick one, I thought nothing could really top the microwave cake for simplicity 60 seconds. The drink was great. I mean, it's quite a caffeine fix. I've got to be honest, I feel very awake right now. The bark was refreshing, the cake was lovely and fudgy and dense, but with that gorgeous crust on it. They're all great in their own ways, but this mousse, honestly, is absolutely phenomenal. But each to their own. One of you guys might be like, I really want to try them. I'll type all these recipes up. This is just a little sample of 5 really easy recipes to make you impress your friends, and if not, impress yourself. Grab a big old mixing bowl and shovel on your mousse and then go for a big old run, and that is exactly what I'm going to do when I finish this video. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, actually, if you enjoyed this video, I did something similar recently where I did a cheese version of this video with loads of like gooey cheese pools and everything. That was a good day too, although I didn't sleep very well that night. Cheers. To be fair, mate, I don't know if your beanbag's gonna fit. Oh my gosh. Boston, you've got a plinth. This is amazing.